All right, my friends, here we go. This is not the thing we're actually going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at this one here. I'll probably say this more than one time, but I will not, I'm going to try to do everything today. And I know I even said last week, I was like, dude, I got to try to split it up. But the reason is that tomorrow is Juneteenth, which, I would do it on Juneteenth, but my kids have, their camp is canceled for Juneteenth, so I'm just hosed when it comes to that kind of thing. It's like, dude, Okay, so, boom, boom. Hi, Lumbra. Let's get this party started. I'll go as far as I can go. I'm going to put it that way. This is Andy. We're going to give Andy a follow. Joined. Probably just joined and graduated. So there's a congratulations. He's in the wrong cohort. He's in the wrong cohort, dude. In any case, welcome to the dojo, Andy. Hopefully see you again soon. And next up we have Sarmat. Sarmat did also join pretty recently. Did some work. Graduated. Looks great. That looks great. So clubs, nothing. Games, nothing. Oh, no, this is weird, actually. This is our new thing. Yeah. Okay. So, also joined. Jack just changed the way the files work, so that'll be an interesting thing to kind of peruse today to see how that works. Okay. Boom. Andy, I think I remember. So, no, it was because Andy had a question on the Discord. Here we go. 56, physicist, senior manager in the auto industry in München. So, I'm going to give, yeah, this is beautiful. I remember looking at Andy. And so, Andy has been very active. And this is looking great. This is the kind of dude, beautiful. Okay, so 517 tactics. He's probably going to graduate again. 433. So looking good. Clubs. Do we got a German dojo? We do. And the 50 plus. There's a lot of us old dudes in here. There's more old dudes than there are German dudes. How about that? All right. Andy's got a couple. Now, this whole all uploads thing, it's a little bit confusing to me. Now, I remember why I looked at Andy, because I'm doing a series on how to make X rating, like how to make 300, how to make 400. And Bavarian Blunderworks, as I believe this guy here. Now, if I hit all uploads, oh, yeah. So here we go. So this thing's got to get fixed, because, or at least at the moment, I don't understand it. There should be a My Games folder. And I'm not seeing it. So we're going to talk about that in tomorrow's meeting. All right. So this is the most recent one. So let's go over here. And we have a time graph. Ooh, we got a very nice time graph. Look at that. Now, I have a feeling I'm going to have to fix the time graph. I usually have to go like that. Great. So this is cool, where we see that our hero is using his time very wisely, and his opponent isn't using it terribly, right? Okay, genius. Now I have a feeling I have to make a Jadoop here. I do. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Boom. Bang. Boom. Bang. Okay, so against Scott from the dojo. I feel like maybe I've looked at this game. All right, we're going to mark it as reviewed. So, I just want to say, beautiful development so far. And that moves fine. We're not going to say anything bad about it. Castles, castles. Great. You're doing great. You're doing great. I just want to say, that you are crushing it with development. And I have looked at this game, and I believe I was looking at it in the context of these videos that I was describing. Okay, so e5. And now it's kind of an interesting situation where I really don't want to push the pawn because I don't want to block my bishop. I really don't. But it's kind of hard not to, so we're going to have sympathy. This is no good because you just push him away. Beautiful. Good move. By the way, rook a d1, well, I think it's maybe better than you realized, because the main point for me is that it actually prevents a c6. So when black plays c6, here's the first point where your opponent is hanging something. This d6 pawn, because you can take. Now, just strategically, we also want to say, hey, the bishop on c4 is blocked, and if he's going to open it, well, then I want to take advantage of that. Okay, so you missed that opportunity. Okay, interesting. And then now a clear blunder. Bang! Now at this level, this is how it's going to be decided. Somebody's going to hang something. So you're winning that battle. He's hanging more stuff. More stuff. Oh, it's a yard sale here. Okay. And Scott is in the dojo, gave him a postmortem. So that's also a beautiful thing. So one of the things we want to say for Andreas here is that he's doing great, and there's going to be a lot of games like that where somebody is hanging stuff, and really the only real critique I had was when he didn't play d takes c6. Other than that, that was a very high level game, and we should expect Andy going up soon. All right, great. Let's continue. This is Space Jewel. Space Jewel, what does Space Jewel got to say? Let's give Space Jewel a follow. Also joined pretty recently. And they got some clubs going on? No. They have done a little bit of work. Have they done any games? This is a little weird with this all uploads thing. We got to fix that, Jack. We got to fix that. Space Jewel, welcome to the dojo. And, you know, but it should be said you weren't quite there with the rating, but you know, you're gonna make some progress now that you're in the dojo. Okay, next up we have Gravy. And Gravy's over here. Started this year, maybe had a couple breaks, came back. I followed him because he already graduated. Just assuming it's a he because of the gravy. I don't know. New York City. Beautiful. Okay. Now, let's see if we got some games. It looks like we don't. Okay, Gravy. Welcome to the dojo. Very common that people who just arrive here don't have a game for us to look at and the graduation show. Right? Okay, next up is Seth. We're going to give Seth a follow. Seth also just joined. No, I take it back. Joined last year, but then took a break for the beginning of this year. So Seth has done a bunch of stuff. Nice graduation in Brazil. Okay, nice. We got to get that Brazil number up. Yeah. Games. I don't think we got any. Oh, we got loads of games. So that was weird, this all uploads thing. What are we doing? There has to be a folder that says my games. Okay. So these, though, were not played recently. Right. So I think we'll skip these and say, Seth, we need a more recent game, but it's great that you're making this progress. Okay. No display name. Turns out staring at chessboards for hours does work. All right, I like no display name. So I am following this person because they already graduated. They didn't quite graduate, but we're going to call it close enough. And yeah, as you can see, they've been very diligent since joining here. Clubs, UK, okay, beautiful. Games. And we have a very recent game here. And let's look at this all uploads thing, Jack. Yeah, it's no bueno yet. It's not there yet, Jack. Okay, so bang. Uh-oh. So this is not properly annotated. Let's see about this one. Also not. Okay, let's see hero and this person. Okay, so one of the things that's very common is it's difficult for many, myself included, to start the process of analyzing your games. We see that higher rated players have just as much difficulty as others. And a good piece of advice is if you're having trouble getting it started, if you get on a Discord call with somebody in your cohort and you just be like, hey, help me go over this game. You guys both will be throwing ideas back and forth. You'll find some questions to ask, right? Okay, no display name, welcome. Now we have Ataxe. Ataxe has graduated numerous times here and joined fairly recently too. Okay, we're going to give Ataxe a follow. All right, so I think, anyways, they just joined. And clubs, nothing. Games, all uploads, nothing. So Ataxe, welcome to the dojo. As I said, for the others, getting that first game up is maybe the hardest part. Now, Lumbra is in the chat. He wrote me a novel. So I'm just going to get a sip of water before I read this novel. Yeah, a little sip of water before we read this. Here we go. After a long time in the dojo, I was already part of 1.0, even though it's not shown. I'm now trying to graduate for the first time. After trying different cohorts and not really progressing, I went to the 0 to 300 and stepped up to 5-600 after Jesse's recommendation. I also changed my preferred rating to Lead Chess. Unfortunately, I have few opportunities to play in tournaments that are impacting my national rating. In the beginning, I mostly played the English opening as white. Okay. So, I just want to say about the openings at this level, I know you don't believe me, but it would help if you didn't even know the words of those openings. I also had the problem of not being able to use my time properly in those openings because I didn't. Okay. A significant change. Okay, then he starts talking about openings. Wait, Lumbra, trust me. Just trust me. Trust me. Okay. Now, he gets on to more critical things here. He says, however, time utilization remains a challenge in online chess. This is probably because I don't like playing online at all. Therefore, I will not consider playing games in the blunder game format for the time being. In terms of the flow of the game, I often manage to achieve a promising position after the opening and in the middle game. However, I find it difficult to convert this advantage in the end game. I've currently reached a plateau in the area of tactics, and I'm looking for effective methods to make further progress here, so far without success. My biggest challenges currently lie in endgame technique and the ability to calculate beyond 5 half moves. Okay, now let me just say something. I want to say, Lumbra, that you are overthinking it for sure, okay? So the things that you're going to need to do, we'll look at a game, by the way, too, just to see. I mean, because what I'm saying is it's not about you. It's about what anybody at this level needs to do. Okay? It's going to be about getting a grip on the board. That is, your piece, your opponents, and you are hanging pieces, for sure. And that is the easiest way to improve. And it's not like calculating 5 half moves or something like that. No, it's just like blatant blundering, and that's where we need the progress the most, anybody at this level. Taking your time will help you see those free pieces, right? Has nothing to do with the opening. And by not learning openings, not even learning the names, you can learn to develop. Like in any position, you could say, oh, this move, and this move are possible because they're all developing moves. Okay, so here we go. This is Lumbra. So, Lumbra's Gigabase. Wow. Okay. Great. He's an older dude like me. We're going to give Lumbra a follow. And he's trying to play classical OTB. Aus Deutschland? Oh, he's got a huge German rating. And got a very nice tactics rating as well. Okay. So, let's look at this just for a second. So, Lumbra started a while back, and now it's Knows All. Thank you. Knows All is the hero of the dojo. Okay, so let's look at some games. It's so weird, Jack, what happened here with the all uploads thing. Okay, now, did I think, Lumbra, am I looking at the right one? This one where you're playing somebody a little bit higher rated than you? Oh, grad show. Got it. Thank you. Let's go look. Okay, so I think this is going to be an OTB game, Club Open Tournament. Oh, so he did do the time graph. So let's first highlight that. And we are going to say that Lumbra had excellent time management in this game, and his opponent did not. In general, when he's playing lower rateds like this, or people around his rating, they're going to move too fast. And I think right there, that's a beautiful thing that we're seeing from Lumbra's time usage. Okay, bang. So, you're doing fine. Yeah, you're doing fine. Okay, I like it. Good. Now, let's just say it's fine. Very passive move, right? And the general issue with this move is eventually the rook is going to want to go to e8. So the bishop is going to be like, well, what am I doing there? So a minor mistake. Good. Fine. 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 I love how you're developing. You're doing great with that. A6, poor. Right? Just poor. C3, fine. Okay, now we get a little bit of a, I don't know if we want to call it a crisis, but things have happened. Okay, so now you think forever, 230, and come up with the move h3. All right, now, by force of miracle, you're not losing all your coconuts here, right? And one of the reasons, by the way, you're not losing your coconuts is simply because of a development problem that black has. But I'm going to go ahead and say, Lumbra, that you missed bishop h4, and then you were like, oh, praise be. Praise be, I got rook e8 if they take on h4. Okay. Yeah. There's a nice word, Zwischenzug. So, all right. So one of the things we want to say is this is a very dynamic position, and it's not easy for me to know what you should do either. A grief that you're having is this knight kind of wants to come here. So let's just say the most natural move to consider is bishop e7. Okay, h3. Here you're getting away with a little crime. Bang. Bang. And now he blows it. Queen e7. Right? Blunder. And this is what we're going to see at this level. It's not about your openings. I promise you, it has nothing to do with the openings. It is about somebody hanging a piece. And now we want to say that we're going to win this game through technique. All right, queen f6. Why is this poor? Because it's not developing, right? He needs to bring his people out. Beautiful, beautiful move. He thought for 15 minutes here. I see it on the time graph. And it's arguably a little long, but It's a beautiful move. Okay, now let's bring beautiful. Beautiful. That's doing nothing. And now you play queen e4. Now, wait, we got to talk. So just in general, hanging the knight makes me nervous, okay? So the safe way to do this position is definitely just to put the knight back. We're up a piece. We're crushing this person. Then we can take this pawn later. So your move isn't objectively wrong, but it's making me nervous. And I don't like to be nervous. When I'm up a piece, it should be smooth sailing. All right, queen e4. Beautiful move, I think. I think that's a real stunner. And you spent 16 and a half minutes on it. Now, you are going... Well, now, this is a weird note. You say gh3 immediately wouldn't be a good idea, as my opponent can force a trade. You want to trade, though. You want to trade at this position. You're up 2 pieces. The problem is he could take the knight. Okay, so queen e4, maybe you're saying it for the wrong reasons. You would love to trade. All right, check. And he still gets your piece. A little bit unfair, but of course you're still winning. See, now we're not afraid of no queen trade. We're doing fine. Oh, that's a nice move. I like that a lot. Okay, so now we have definitely a technique position. Okay. Good move. Okay, I like it. Right. So one of the things I'm seeing with actually a couple people around this level, because I'm doing this series, as I said, about how to make X, is they get real fancy. You know, just move the rook back. You're winning. You're up a piece. We don't need to be fancy at all. Just trade it all down. Okay, good. I like this for the most part. Now, bishop f3. Beautiful. Oh, very nice. Very nice. You should be proud of that. c5. Oh, no. Again, way too complicated. Way too complicated. Okay, so yeah, rook e2 might have been kind of annoying. And then here you miss bishop f5. At this point, you have plenty of time. You got 15 minutes added at move 41. And then this is very painful, rook h6. Yeah. Okay, so now we have to be a little nervous. You call this equal, and it might be equal on a GM level, but on this level, it is not equal. Okay, boom. Rook a3. Now, what is it? What do we want? We want to push our pawns. Okay, so black is a little closer, but as long as we can activate our king, activate our pawns, even if we then have to sack our rook, we are doing fine. So this is a mistake because it's just giving him a tempo. And then this one is a real bad one, right? In general, when you're in a position like this, you really don't want to offer a trade into a king and pawn endgame unless you've really figured it out, right? And then the key rule here is the rule of the box. Now, technically, here's the box that we create. That means, can my king get inside that box? But El Bummerino is his king. This is an exclam move here. His king now can shepherd the pawn down the board. Okay, so good game. I want to compliment you on a couple things, Lumbra. Your time management was amazing, okay? Your ability to develop, amazing. And that both of those bode well for future development. And the thing, of course, that I stressed was it's about you hanging stuff. And one thing, I did some videos, I think, I don't know, I forget which cohort it was like making 400, where kind of like you, the dude was like really trying to be way too fancy, you know. You just, once, you, at this stage of your chess career, you just want to be a brutal materialist. You don't want to be fancy. You don't need moves like d6, queen takes d5, you know, all this funky stuff, c5. You don't need any of that stuff. Just pull it back, trade off the, once you're up a piece. In fact, just a general strategy is go in there and say, until I make 1,000 dojo, right? I'm going to take their coconuts, because they will give them to me. I'll keep developing. I'll keep using my time. I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm going to take their coconuts, and then I'm going to trade them all off. Nothing fancy. End it. End it. Okay. Now, I wouldn't say endgames are your problem. I really wouldn't say that. You know, what you're talking about is not really an endgame, but closing the game out. Okay? Well, some people might call that an endgame. But, you know, the things that happened there were just blundering of stuff. That's what it was decided. It wasn't like an endgame technique or something like that. Okay. Well done. And good annotation. Very nice annotation, Wilbur. All right. Bang. So, let's see what we got. Tarek. Now, I watched this show. What is that his name? Tarek? Department Q. There's a dude named, I think his name's Tarek in there. It's a good show, dude. That's a good show. Best advice I've picked up from the program is to play longer games and do post-analysis annotations. I was grinding short rapids before and kept blundering. There's also so much content online that I feel it can feel like a rabbit hole, absolutely. So having a clear program with set tasks and tracking was very helpful. I haven't engaged in the Discord yet, but I'm down to give it a try. Okay. Great, Tarek. So let's give Tarek a follow here. Join the dojo. You can see he's playing. He's doing some tactics. All right. Yeah. Very nice progress since joining the dojo. Let's see if we got any clubs here. In Europe, all right. Let's see, we got some games. We got loads of games. So let me just, this all uploads thing that Jack did is very strange. So let's do this one. I don't know. And we'll click here. Oh, look at this beautiful time graph. So here he played, well, used the time just amazingly well. Amazingly well. Okay, good. So, fine. A little weird to play F3. There's no need. There's no need. Just play E4. Okay, that's weird. All right, so, Tarek, we want you to focus on bringing your people out. G4 isn't bringing your people out. F3 is not bringing your people out. Good. Now this is poor because you're not developing your people. Okay. A little weird for him to play knight h7. Yeah. Good. So knight d7, right? Now, I think you're going to lose a pawn, unfortunately. Because on bishop f4, he's got... Actually, maybe you could hold on to the pawn. If you can, you would want to. Because here you can pin this knight and he can't take you. Okay, so definitely black should take that delicious pawn over there. Good move. Controversial because now you have a good move. Now, what's wrong from a development standpoint about b6? Because the bishop he's already out. He doesn't need another move to get out. Beautiful. Fine. Fine. Now, this is a funky move where we want to say the reason this is controversial for black is because black is not developed. He's not. He's not developed. And so he's going to be opening all his stuff before it's developed, usually a bad sign. Okay, so now you played knight c4. I get it. I like knight f5 a lot. I don't know how terrible of a move knight c4 is, though. a5 is definitely not it. Now he's hanging a coconut here. Okay, so basic chess, people need to see that at this level, their opponents are hanging stuff. Okay? Your opponent missed bishop g4, now you miss knight b6. Okay. f6. Is black thinking about fixing their knight? No. They're not. Now, knight f5, I think, is a mistake because then fe is a little bit hard to deal with. That's fine. E6 is a nice move, just preventing black from ever moving ever again. All right, now still e6. Oh, too fancy. So here you have a couple things. The obvious one is just to win the pawn, but this is a nice move just to shut him completely down. Notice he can't move anymore after that. So we lost a pawn. We're still doing great. Oh, I'm proud of this move as offered the knight sacrifice to remove the rook from the 8th. Now, let's just talk about this for a second. Bishop c8, what's wrong? Your opponent isn't developing, okay? When they don't develop, you might be able to find something like this. Good, good, good. And now the knight is pinned. This is very typical of what's going to happen when they don't develop. Good. Fine. Good. Yeah, you're just killing this guy. Now, it's fine. It's fine. Boom, boom. We can trade this all off. We're okay with that. Oh, look at that. Boom. It was almost a mate. Uh-oh. So now here it is. So here we blundered the bishop. Rook g5 would be the easy way to go. Now, I'm just going to be looking a little bit. You had plenty of time at this point. Okay, plenty of time. All right. Good move. Blundering a pawn, right? Okay. Okay. Now, rook, you got a couple good moves here. Okay, good. Okay, knight b5, good. Blunder. So notice what happened here. Your opponent, by the way, still has plenty of time and doesn't see that the rook is hanging. So this is what I'm saying. Just hear me for a second. Hear me for a second. It is not about the openings. People think it's about the openings. It is not. It is about hanging your coconuts. All right? So people here are hanging their coconuts. In general, I want to go up with the king to be active. And now here we kind of blew it here. Now, this is an interesting momentito. Rook d5. Is it an exclam? Now, I think so, but we're about to find out. Boom, 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 boom. a4. Good. Winning. Oh, very nice. That rook d5 move was a very nice stroke. And one thing we just want to say is that's at a far higher level of complexity than, say, losing the rook on c5. Okay. All right. Well done. And we'll move on here. This is next up is Glacial. Once a chess player, always a chess player. That earns him a follow. Joined pretty recently. We got some clubs. Oh, he's in Italy. We got to get that number up. We got to get that Italy number up. The people in that group, by the way, they're very active. But Glacial here, having just joined us, very typical, hasn't posted anything yet in terms of games. So welcome to the dojo, Glacial. And actually, we just want to stress, Glacial, this is very important. Actually, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. Your Lee chess has a totally weird rating, but this is fine, what you're doing. Okay, great. Now we have Eduardo. Bang. Give Eduardo a follow. So, 669 just joined. We had a lot of people just joining in the last month. So that's why we're getting a lot of people today who have just joined, haven't done much yet, haven't posted any games yet. All right, now we have Yepsta. Awesome program. I initially went from 860 to 820s, but as you say, trust the program, do the work, and the rating will come. I've gained 130 rating points since my low at 820. Great. That's what we want to hear at the dojo. Look at that. Now, see, look. Yepster's doing the work. Now, it sounds like a Dutch name. We'll see. We'll see if he's part of the Dutch dojo here. All right. Danish dojo. Oh, now he's going to be insulted. He's going to be like, dang it, Dutch. What are you talking about, buddy? Now, very nice heat map. And as you can see, he is flying up here now. And that's what we like to see at the dojo. Joined, working at it every day, hitting his benchmarks here, doing basically 7+ hours every week. And it's paying off. Oh, wow, I'm pumped to see Yepster's progress now. Okay, so, all uploads. Now, let's go over here. Again, if anybody is in the chat and I'm about to do their game and you want me to cover a specific game, then definitely tell me. This is in the Aarhus Chess Club. The times weren't recorded, but let's get into it here. Fine, 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 fine. Okay. Now, in general, I'm a little upset that we're moving a develop piece twice, but you are trying to do something. So I have some sympathy for this. This, however, is a mistake. It is not a developing move. And here you have an interesting opportunity to take on d6 and shatter the structure. Your move, though, is kind of interesting. Maybe. Maybe. Bishop, pawn, knight, and you say this is a mistake. Now, to me, it's not immediately obvious because you do have to move your queen first. You go queen e3. I guess maybe it is obvious to me. Look at that. He's got two threats now, a7 and f3. Now, if that's the case, though, isn't he already in a little bit of trouble? Maybe knight h5 is what he should have done. There is a bummer about knight h5, though, too, because then we could play e6 and then snip that coconut. Ow! Ay, chihuahua. I think knight e5 might be a very good move, honestly. That just might be a very nice move. And by the way, why did this opportunity arise? Because your opponent moved a developed piece twice. Mick Brownie says, the struggle I am having is finding people to play games with and do analysis. Aarhus. Okay. I was saying Aarhus, but I was supposed to say Aarhus. Mick Brownie, come to the dojo. I swear, I don't know if I swear, but I'll actually look at some tournaments here, and those guys do the postmortems afterwards. Very nice. That isn't it. Thank you very much. And now, okay, so now we have a situation where I do not want... Our hero, unfortunately, is playing black. Our hero is playing black. I thought our hero was playing white just because it served me from the white side. Okay. So, boom. Now, I want to stress, the game's not over yet. Okay? White just... already made a move here. Bishop e3, maybe we can do something with. Rook he8. Bishop f5. Good move. Bang! Very nice move, Jesper. Boom! He leaves some things undefended. We're coming in. Thank you very much. You say, now you have a choice here. Personally, I would want to take the bishop because your pawns are all funny now. He goes back. I think bishop f2 is a little stronger. All right, you say thank you. Okay. That was a blunder. Bang! Okay, so a couple things, Jesper. It would be great to know what the time situation was. And here we are, as we're going up the cohorts, we're seeing that the blundering of pieces is a little more subtle. Like this knight e4, I don't even know how bad I want to blame you, okay, for the tactical miss. All right, you're in a little trouble already. And why did it happen? Well, really, I think it started around here, where a knight b5, the simple thing to do. Again, I'm Mr. Simple here. Just take this thing, play a6, make him go back, and then play something like that. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be a genius. Right? Okay. So, good annotations. And here we're going to have Jesper playing some more. He's going to be coming for us. All right, Mo. Mo is a cool person here. Let's talk about Mo. Mo doesn't know it, but the senseis have been looking at Mo. Because Mo, I think, well, we're going to get into there. First, let's read what he said. I think adding visualization to my training plan has really helped me in my games. That, in addition to doing the tactics recommended by the dojo, is probably why I was able to graduate again. Look at this thing. See, Mo is on fire. Yeah, no, that's right. 19 from Switzerland. Right, and Mo is just graduating all the time. You can see that Mo is ready to graduate again. Now, something unfair in the world, I'll just put it out there. If you're younger, you're gonna have, it's just gonna be a little easier, okay? I asked Mo last time to give me a Swiss dojo. Did he do it? Yeah, buddy. There it is. He did it. Yep. It's amazing to me the ADHD dojo is so big. Okay. So, games. Do we got some games, Mo? We do. All right. Now, I might have already done this one because people actually making clubs for Jesse. That's right. Because, oh, no, I haven't done this one. Look at this one. Very typical where our champion from the dojo uses their time and their opponent does not. Okay, hopefully we have a pure crush then of this level of player. So far, so good. Okay. Now, you are hanging a coconut here, but black is committing the crime of, taking what's called the poison pawn. All right. Knight, this thing you found with knight c4, queen c3, maybe that's a computer thing that you found. It feels a little computery. It is a very nice move. What we want to stress with that is that when your opponent doesn't develop, that's when we can find something beautiful like that. So boom, boom. You don't develop, you play against somebody in the dojo, this is what you're going to get, right? So this is a terrible move, c4. Also terrible that you played it kind of quickly. Despite the fact that I complimented you on your time usage, here we have a critical situation. And c4 doesn't really do anything. If you didn't find knight c4, I think rook c1 would be a reasonable move. You need to defend the coconut. All right, so c4, bang, and now we blunder again. That wasn't it. Now we're lost. Okay. Knight d4. Now this isn't good. We're just hanging everything. We're hanging everything. That's not looking good. Dang. Just taking all of our... Jeez, this person's cruel. All right. You say it's clear advantage to black. That to me looks like a lot. Well, Far Eastern, it would be difficult, yeah. But C4 wasn't... That's the one I want to stress. C4 was no bueno. And then we just continued to keep it hanging all of our coconuts. So I've seen a couple of Mo's games. This one... This one was a sad one indeed. Okay. And especially we don't like to lose when these chumps don't use their time. Ooh. Yeah. Now you look at Black's time usage at the beginning, by the way. He wasn't thinking about this. He was just like, all right, I'm just take everything. What do these people do, by the way? We see this again and again. They create threats. They don't develop their pieces. They're just like, Queen B6, I'm going to try to make a threat. And so part of it is getting good at it. Now, if you didn't feel confident about knight d2, of course you could play Queen B3 or Queen C2. You're still doing great. 1-0 for the cheapo merchant. That's right. Oh, it's so sad when we lose the cheapo merchant. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So, grad show. Tristan Brown, this guy's graduating all the time, but we're not going to look because this dude, he's just working his way up. All right, so now we have I am Jacob M. And this is a cool story. He just started a couple months ago and is already up to the 800, 900 cohort. Dang. He's got an ugly cat, one of the ugliest cats. I don't even know if that's a cat, you know? All right. So he is crushing it and has a dream to make 1,500. And honestly, if he's got this kind of start, a lot of times I'll say, I don't know, buddy. That's kind of far away. But, you know, if you're consistent here and this graph suggests you got some natural talent, you could make it. Okay, so clubs, nothing. Games. See, it's so weird that I gotta click on. Okay, I am Jacob. Very important. At this stage of our development, your development, we are saying you need a minimum of a 30 plus 30 game. That happens in the 800 cohort where we say that. Now, I realize if you just started, it's probably going to be a very new thing for you to be doing games that are longer than 10-0. There's a lot of reasons we want you to play longer games. One is just when you look at it, you are looking at a game where both people thought. Two, we really want you to be able to think longer to develop chess thinking skills, even if you want to play 10-0, right? You'll get better at thinking about chess. Then you can do it faster when you do play 10-0. All right, boom. Next up we have I Wish I Were Decent. He's graduating all the time. What a great Father's Day gift, getting to graduate again. I am on a month-long road trip out west in the U.S. with a wife and kids, but I brought my chess nut, and I am squeezing in chess whenever I can. Last night I won an intense game on Elite Chess in Buffalo, Wyoming. To clinch my graduation, I could not be more excited. Okay, this is a cool story. So maybe like, yeah, we're imagining here like maybe like a summer road trip. I remember I Wish I Were Decent, and I can, maybe he's out there, you know, in a van. Maybe he's in a van. And look at that. That progress is amazing. And also you can see it wasn't like immediately going up. See, he kind of plateaued for a while and then bam. Well, how did it happen actually? We know how it happened because he started taking this heat map seriously around February. And look at that. It coincides exactly with the progress. Okay, so clubs, Toledo, Ohio, and the Chestnut Ybor Group. All right. games. Now, let's just hit all uploads. All right, 30 plus 90. That was very recent. That might have been the game that put him over. Loombrass, I'm taking lessons with an FM. We usually discuss games we've played and we'll focus on endgame technique in the future. What do you suggest I do for tasks in the dojo? I really think it's important for you to play games and to really check that you're not hanging stuff. I know that sounds boring, but doing that and then just learning how to squeeze these people out, like they are hanging things. And like we saw in that game, you don't want to be fancy or anything. You just want to control everything, make sure you're not losing anything, and push them over the edge. They will continue to hang stuff. Once you're up pieces, it'll be easier to take more of theirs, right? All right, here we go. This is I Wish I Were Decent. And boom, we're going to click on this game here. And we got a time graph. Oh, my Lord, look at this. Oh, my. Look at that, my friends. Zeros. So they agreed to do 30 plus 90, which is a little bit of an odd time control, of course. But one of the things that we're going to see is we saw some very good ratings, time management ratings from the lower cohorts. And for 30-0, you just need to think a little bit and your rating's going to be okay. 30-90, you got to use that time, right? And here, look what happened. Look what happened. So, I wish I were decent. The obvious thing to say here is your game will progress so much if you can slow down. I'm going to end up going over this game longer than you played it. H6, terrible move. Fine. Okay. I want you to play knight d2, but I understand. Good move. Bishop a4, poor move. Why is it poor? Because it's not developing. What would be a good move? Knight d2. At some point, we're going to think also about queen g4. At this stage, queen g4 looks good, but it's unfortunately a blunder. That's unfair. Black doesn't deserve to have that trick on us, right? But the main point is just to say, hey, buddy, no, your pieces need to get out. That's nice, I think. And see, if we didn't have that bishop hanging out, we could play bishop h6. We still can. Bang! 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 All right, interesting. Why did we go back all the way to d1? I don't know. Is the bishop... The reason we get our pieces off the bottom rank, by the way, is so that our rooks can move, so they can connect. So bishop c2 for sure. You moved it. You did think for a little bit. Your opponent's just moving around and around. They're not even thinking at all. I don't understand f4. Good. Okay. Good. All right. But your opponent doesn't know. Good move. Okay. Good move. Now you have knight d7 check. Bang! And now let's pin and win. Very nice. Simple chess. Oh no, mouse slip. Now you're moving too fast. One way to not mouse slip is take it a little slower. Now are you still winning? Yeah. That I don't know about though. Okay, good. Good. Now you're crushing him again. The world is back to where it should be. Now bishop c8 wins the rook. Boom. All right, so that was this game. I wish I were decent. Mouse, you got to slow it down. Okay. You know it. I'm just saying it. You know it already. Spanish Johnny's up next. Spanish doesn't say much. Let's see what's going on with Spanish Johnny. Joined pretty recently. 803, nice graduation. Joined the dojo and whack, he went straight up. Clubs, nothing. Games. Do we got some games? We got some games. All right, first I want to commend Spanish Johnny for playing some nice time control here. This was played pretty recently. Looks like an OTB game. Right, this is an OTB. You can bring in the times, of course. It takes a little bit of work, but you can do it. And let's go game review. The first draw of my tournament career with a player over 1,500. Okay, you're doing fine. Okay. 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 Bang. Boom, 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 bang. Okay. Okay, you're doing fine. Good. I'm very happy to see that. That bishop was the one we really needed some help with. And then, no, I don't like that move. So, we're going to guess that you felt black was threatening something. They're not. So what's the right move? Bishop b2. Good. Weird. All right. Now, the obvious thing to do would be to take, and then put the queen there, or put the rook there to attack the queen for a free developing move. Then you write cd5. Good. Boom, boom. Okay, now they're trading some stuff off. Boom. Boom. White offers a draw, black accepts. Now, congratulations. Congratulations. I wouldn't say this is equal. Okay, it's probably equal. But what I want to say is the starting position is also equal. Here, black can do all kinds of things still. So like this. Here. Now, no, this is already, actually, you can see it's a dangerous position for white here. It is a dangerous position for white because black is going to control the only open file. Oh, Far Eastern says white was up a queen. I don't think it was this game. I don't think it was this game. All right, so well done. Welcome to the dojo. And there's some small things just to focus on here in this game. For example, bishop e2 would be simpler. Knights, it's not clear the knight wants to go there. That part of the game, your opponent played really well, though. Here you lost the tempo. Good, and then you simplified it out. And then here you lost the tempo. And I think your annotation is absolutely right. If cd5, I think white has a very nice position after cd5. Okay. Far Eastern says it was anticlimactic. Your opponent, he was a carpintero, like Jesus, you know. He's making tablas. All right, here we go. Let's go back. And that was Spanish Johnny. And I did a little mistake here. There we go, but we're back. And we're going to go grad show. Lord Scuba, he's been graduating all the time. Dojo has been awesome. Feel like a broken record when I say that, more than the training plan. The community has been built in a key motivator for me to keep, the community that has been built is a key motivator for me to keep improving. All right. So Lord Scuba's in the chat. Beautiful. Lord Scuba here. Oh, look at Lord Scuba, dude. Hold on. Look at this. Started chess in 24 August. Request of a friend. Then proceeded to get addicted. An audiobook narrator. Okay. And in the past, spent a few years as a scuba instructor. through my status as a USMC vet makes me more likely to lift heavy things. Unfortunately, I had instead picked up cycling as my physical sport at the moment. Okay. I've done a lot of cycling myself. I kind of want to get back to it. So this is amazing. Look at this. Look at Lord Scuba here, dude. Look at the work this guy's done. He joined in August, or started chess in August over here. You know, found his way to the dojo, and ever since then, just crushing it. And you can see this graph. Dude is just flying up. Amazing. Okay, clubs. Let's see what's going on here. ADHD, all kinds of clubs. The Aphantasia Club. Okay. Maybe we'll get a cycling club. Maybe we'll get a cycling club. All right, Lord Scuba. Do you have... No, this is a little bit. Do you have a game you'd like us to cover? This most recent one is calling out to me. Thank you very much for playing longer time controls, too. That looks great. Yeah. All right, Scuba, I'm going with Padron Howe. Very recent. Well, you know, we're at the stage here where pieces are going to be hung. Pieces are going to be hung, Lord Scuba. All right, let's do this one. So, time graph. Oh, look at that. Wow. Wow. Both players doing very well with the thinking. Now, they end up getting a poor time management rating, but I just want to say, generally at this level, the problem is, as we saw in the other one, is somebody not thinking at all. So this is great. Game review. Here's the Lord Scuba. So far, so good. Good. Well-known trick. Good. This doesn't seem right. Queen h4. Okay. So, g3. Queen f3 feels more logical to me because we want to develop our pieces. Bishop f4. Realize that the pawn was hanging. Want to see if I could keep hold of it. Okay, I like your note about knight d5. Now you're just up a lot of pieces. Boom, thank you very much. Now, let me just stress, if you want to be a boring guy like me, you're up 2 pawns. Just go trade the queens. But of course, you're winning here. Why do you encourage people to be boring like you? There's no need for that. Okay, e5, I like it. Bishop g2. Check to the miserable king, even better. Your move's way better than my move. Check to the miserable king. Okay, I don't like this. I was aware here that I could either trade off the light square bishops or lose a pawn. I don't think I saw a flaw in losing the pawn at this point, but I figured if I can at least take care of the light square bishop. But look, your light square bishop's out. The guy's a genius. So definitely castle. And there's no going to be, you can't be doing this stuff because you're going to come down and mate it. Right? So you're just killing him here. So bishop e2, we don't like. You're still doing great because his king is so weak. But we don't like because it's not a developing move and it hangs a coconut. Castles. Did you mate him? Bang, baby! Ow! All right. Now, one of the things we want to say from Black's perspective is, that was interesting for this game, is they always take the pawn. They always take the pawn. They're not sensitive to development. Okay? So why does this trick work? Because he's not developing. So now we have 2 threats. Boom and boom. Okay. Far Eastern asks, how is the time rating that low for thinking too much? You can get a low rating for thinking too long. Go see my rating about Gukesh. You know, a lot of higher rated players think too long. So it's definitely possible to get a low rating for thinking too long. All right. So, well done. let's continue. Next up, we have Squash Josh. Squash Josh. We have so many people left here. You're never getting done with this, buddy. Squash Josh. And I am young, but I will crush you. Also, a new member of the dojo. 921. We're getting a little stronger now. Clubs. Nothing. Games. We got one. Josh versus Mason. Here we go. Squash Josh. Okay, we're going to say, Josh, you need more. We need more than this for the annotation. Okay? Yeah. All right, but welcome to the dojo, Josh. And annotating a game, first time, can be kind of hard. There's no doubt about it. Let me give a plug for our tournaments real quick. So, Josh, you would be playing this 901. Let's go look at what that is. Bang! See what's going on over here. We got a lot of people. We got skier Brian Grandshire. These are some famous people. Kay Borman, Jared Hall. And look, there's another one going on here with Heir Apparent. Oh, dude, so many games. Now, why am I stressing this? If you're just starting and you're like, I don't know about this whole playing a longer game and analyzing it, this would be a great tournament for you to join, because they would go over the game with you afterwards, and that could be the basis of your annotation. It is a party over there. Now we have Tal Huba, and let's read what Tal says. This guy's been crushing for real for a long time. My training regimen has been 1, 20 to 30 minutes of annotating my games first thing morning, about 6 days a week. That's really good. A little every day goes a long way. 2, 1 long game a week. The dojo makes this easy with the Open Classical. I've also been doing the Friday night fights when I'm waiting for the next Open Classical tournament to begin. Playing a 15-10 blunder game on the days I'm not playing a long game. This helps keep the chess muscles active and limber. I've also been slowly working on my way through mastering time in chess on Chessable. I try to work through 1 exercise a day. Chess's courses on tempo have been transformative, and I am all in on mastering tempo. Oh, that's what I like to hear. I did a course. He's talking about this course as part of the dojo as well, called Mastering Time in Chess. It was very simple, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about it as we move on to the next level. Once we start getting over 1,000, people will hang some stuff. They'll hang some stuff. But more often, the more common thing by far is they will be hanging tempi. And when they hang tempi, we want to get good at punishing them for that, right? And so it was all dojo games that I looked at, and I gave typical positions where I was like, here's where somebody gave you a gazillion tempi. What do you do now? And it wasn't always a tactic. There was often it was just a way of improving the position or busting the position open because they don't have any of their pieces out, right? Okay, so here we go. Tal Huba. Boom. You can see he's working on his games. Okay. My friends, we are back. I don't know what happened. No idea. But I was saying that our hero here, Tal Huber, oh, look at this time graph. He's killing it. Yeah, it's a GM level. Okay, so here we go. Game review. If Jesse is looking at this during a graduation ceremony, please review a different game instead. This was an off game for me. Okay. In general, I want to say this. The games, the people tell me when they say, oh, I played real bad, or this game isn't interesting. Just in my experience, there often is something interesting. Like this one, look at this. Oh no, you stopped thinking tall. So this is the typical problem we often see at this level. People not thinking. Okay, so, ugh. All right, game review. Little weird. Boom. Boom. C6, B4, very nice. Very nice. Now, he has maybe some compensation for the business. You play knight e5, and it looks correct, Mundo. But I do have my concerns. Now, he plays bishop d6, but what would happen on queen e7? Worthy of discussion, right? Because he's going to push your knight and then open up the lady on your queen with some kind of knight c3. So knight e5 might have been a little too much. Your opponent doesn't see it. Boom. Would your opponent maybe have seen it if he moved slower? Well, I will say that. So, best move according to the engine, okay. Notice here's a little bit of a problem with the engine. The engine is telling you to play knight c3, but you haven't figured out like what the problem with knight e5 was, right? So that's kind of one of the reasons we don't want to look at the engine, right away. Now you're just winning, right? You're up a piece. You're up a piece. What is black doing? Not developing. Terrible. Now you're completely winning. Good move. Ooh, poor move. Too fast. Right. Oh, your opponent's not thinking either. My friends. My friends. This is what happens when people don't think. Oh, he trades queens. Now, at this point, as long as you don't hang anything, I'm not going to yell at you. Look at this. Look at this guy, just murdering. Now, unfortunately, it wasn't as cool as we thought, but you're killing him. Knight c4, bang, check. Bang, oh, that's a nice one. Check to the miserable king and their rook. Proud of this fork. Good, now, tall. Oh, man. It's important to see that this kind of player is the one that really should be paving a lot of your rating gains. You just win every single time because they're not thinking. They're not thinking at all. You fell into their trap of moving too fast as well. Give him hell for those time graphs, Jesse. That's what Fauger's saying. So you see what's going on, Tall? He's giving me permission to yell at you. That's what I need, too. I just need a little bit of validation there. A little bit of facilitation. A little bit of empowerment. Enabling. Okay. So, we know what we need to do there, Tal Hooper. And your rating gains are going to be amazing. The other game you had was fine, the one you didn't like. Overall good game? No. No, Tal Hooper. You played way too fast. Okay. Ludwig. Let's see what you got, bud. Got Ludwig with 2 Gs. We're going to give him a follow. Just joined the dojo. U.S. evening. Games. We got some games. Bang. Wait a second. That was weird. Oh. So he does have this new system that Jack built. We're going to talk about at the meeting tomorrow. It is no bueno. So. Okay, Ludwig. I know we just joined, but we need more than this for our annotations. More than this. We'll take a quick look at the time graph. You did well at the time graph. But we need more from our annotations over here. So now we have Big Eldrazi. This guy's famous. Graduating again. This one was much tougher at least. Had to play more games, and for every easy game, there were many more hard ones. I expect next go will take much study and practice on my part. Okay. Big Eldrazi, dude. This guy's amazing. He just keeps going. Yeah. So, he joined the dojo, and he's just been graduating like every week. Goal is to reach 2K someday. Okay. And, you know, joined, boom. Joined, progress. That's what we like to see. Clubs. In the Spanish dojo, okay. Games. This all uploads thing Jack did to us is terrible. All right, here we have a 90-30. Boom, boom. And bang. And what we'll say is it looks like a little bit like the last one. Now, maybe Big Eldrazi's winning no matter what here, but you can see sometimes people think for a little bit and then they're just like, nope, I'm done thinking, especially when their opponent is being a chump and moving really fast themselves. Very important for the dojoers to realize that when they go play the chumps online, a lot of it's going to look like this. They're just going to be playing way too fast, even though they were the ones that agreed to 130. Or rather, in this case, 90 plus 30. Weird. So think about it. This person maybe even spent a momentito learning openings or something, and then they did this to themselves. Okay. 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 Yeah, weird. Good. Fine. Little frisky. Okay. So, ED5, good move. 94, excellent. Wow, that was great. Now, Queen E7 and let me just say, this was really nice. Now, let's stress how this happened. Black is not developing because they're not part of the dojo. They don't know. They don't know that I'm going to yell at them for not developing. And boom, very nice move, forcing really C takes D5, but they're thinking about pawns. Pawns aren't important. Bang! Controlling that knight on D2 is important. Boom. Bang! Very nice move. That's very impressive, honestly. Bang! Oh, buddy. That's class, Big Eldrazi. And I just want to stress again, great tactic. And the reason it happens is these people are not developing their coconuts. Fine. Bang! Dang it, Big Eldrazi. Take it easy. Take it easy, bud. Bang! Dang. Okay. So, beautiful annotation, beautiful game. You will have many games where your opponents do not develop their pieces. I think this one's kind of hilarious because it seems like they had learned the opening up until here, and then they were just like, geez, I don't know. I don't know. Let's play A5. Okay, so we're going to see Big Eldrazi again pretty soon. That guy's on a quest. Next up, we got Joe. And Joe, we're going to give a follow. He joined the dojo. We had a lot of people joining the dojo and beginning a religious transformation immediately, such as Joe. This happened all, let's say, in the last month. So this is looking great. Clubs, nothing. Games. This all uploads thing is terrible, Jack. We're going to fix it. Joe, welcome to the dojo. We want you to give us a game. Yeah, but otherwise it's looking good. It's looking real good, Joe. Now, we got a novel. Let's go, and we're going to read this novel. This is from Klon. Started playing chess around this time last year, initially pretty casually, and I was pretty much straight progression up to 1150 ChessCom, but really felt I needed to up my game to break through beyond 13. And the dojo has been great for that, just to put some structure on what I was doing and giving me specific materials. In terms of the material, Winning Chess Tactics and Polgar have been fantastic. The most noticeable difference I feel since joining about 6 weeks ago is a marked improvement in my tactical vision. Even as my opponents are getting better, I'm much better at using pins or other tactical threats to pick up stray pawns that I was leaving on the board previously. Obviously, still a huge amount to improve on there, but really happy with the progress so far. Only slight critique I'd have about the material is logical chess. I think for this level, it starts out extremely slowly to the point that I didn't pick it up for a few weeks. Now, what's interesting about that, we got to say, is that's probably the most popular book in the dojo in terms of people giving feedback on it. As compared to how much I was getting out of Winning Chess Tactics, it didn't seem like the best use of my time. After reading a few people talking about it and then checking it myself, it does ramp up a bit as the chapters go on, so I'm going back to it now and we'll finish before moving onto the 11-12 material. And there are definitely good insights contained within it, but it's definitely an issue I found that at least for the first games, the insights annotations are pretty basic. Other challenge I have is that with two very young kids at home, scheduling classical games is very difficult, and one round robin game, I did manage to schedule. My daughter woke up early, so I ended up playing and losing badly with her sitting on my lap wanting to play. That is a bummer. Would love to get to a classical tournament too, but again, that's just not a runner as multi-day tournaments are out of the question. So I'm trying to get a rapid 15-10 tournament every 1 to 2 months. I'm trying to get in at least one classical game on Elite Chess every week whenever the chance arises, but it's tough, and I do appreciate the benefits that come with them, and I definitely still have a gap in my mental game that I sometimes don't calculate for long enough, don't always check alternate lines, etc. The kind of things that you can really only practice in long games. That's probably my biggest gap at the moment, but also somewhere that I should still have some newbie gains to get, as I think I'll see a marked improvement in my game if I can start calculating longer. Overall, really happy with the program and hopefully can keep making progress in this rating band. Okay, so here's Klamom. And he has joined the program, started going religious. It's looking good, Klamom. It's looking really good. So, clubs, just dads and moms, right? And let's jack this all upload thing. So, Klam, I just want to stress, I hear you with everything you're saying with the longer games. Important to say that at this level, you should be looking for that 30 plus 30. Okay, the 30 plus 30. I know you might say to yourself, that's too long for me. But that is where you are at now. And, I would say the best place for you to do this by far is in the dojo tournaments. Okay, so here we go. Bang. This is Klamom, and Klamom does great with the time. Look at that. Really good usage of the time. His opponent at a certain point stops thinking. All right, so here we go. Klamom will just say 30 plus 30. That is the time control for you, my friend. This game looks like you might have lost it on time. And with that 30, one of the reasons you want to give yourself a little bit of increment there. All right, so here we go. Fine. A little weird. Fine. Okay. No, I think d4 is not correct because you'd be hanging the pawn on c4. Okay, interesting, fun. Bishop g4. Yeah. Bishop e3, fine. Poor. Good move. This is an idea I've got from viewing engine games where I play this opening. So, interestingly, the age-old advice is that every Russian schoolboy knows to take back towards the center, talking a little bit about a position like this. And here it's just nice to control the center. Now, rook f4, honestly, you'd also be better. A little weird, 98. F5. I think I'm okay with this. I think I'm okay. Good. Now we just hit him with d4. Thank you very much. Ooh, I want a d4. Good. Okay. I still want d4 at some point. That's mean. King h8. And now queen g2, I don't know. Okay. Now, you are spending time on this. And you're going to say, plan to follow this up with bishop h6. By the way, pretty high-level game. I want you to play d4 at some point just to knock that knight before he solidifies it with c5. Okay. Right. And now rook a8, which you call a double question mark. Blunders pawn. Only a minor crack, but the pressure did finally yield results. Okay. Now, he should definitely consider c5 at this point to lock your bishop out. Ooh, d5. That's probably not it. Now, he needs to take on e4. Okay, so your opponents are hanging things, and we want to just be wary of when they're hanging more stuff. And here, he's got to take. Got to do it. Knight e6 looks fine, but why aren't we playing knight takes d5? What does knight c4 do? Notice, they're just going to make cheap-looking threats. And I bet that scared the bejesus out of you right there. I bet that scared you. Okay, so we're back to business. You're totally winning, but it's going to be a little bit of a grind here. There you should say thank you. Here we should probably play e5. Good. Good. Very nice. Okay, so we blundered this. Now, you are in deep time pressure. And I want to say you played some moves that I felt were very deep. Okay, the GF, even if rook f4 was fine, I thought that was pretty deep. The f5 move was also pretty deep. Here, I feel reluctant to criticize you because you have like 0 time left. I feel very strongly that the next step for you is to play some 30-30 games in the dojo tournament. There you can set it up whenever you want. You know, tell your daughter, by the way, no, you don't get to sit on my lap. You don't get to sit on my lap. Easy to say, you know, yeah. Yeah, easy to say. I know that's hard. All right, so that's Klamam. Wrote me a nice novel. We got a couple more to go. Matt Chess Play says, after a few months of deliberate practice, I finally graduated into the next cohort. Chess mood and online tactics are what helped me reach the goal. This has been one of my longest plateaus, but with the help of the aforementioned tools, I've managed to break into the next cohort. Okay, let's go take a look. Wow, look at Matt Chess Play, dude. Dang. Matt Chess Play, he's doing a lot of stuff. He's doing a lot of non-dojo stuff. One of the problems with non-dojo stuff is it might be fine, but then he has to figure it out for himself. It sounds like he's doing these other tools. All right, clubs. Aus Deutschland. Okay. Games. We got loads. Okay, so 30 plus 20 is a little weird. Again, we're looking for 30, 30. That's weird that they're all 30 plus 20. Let's go take a look at what's going on with Matt Chess. So, oh, Matt Chess, let's just talk for a second. Just me and you, but just get in real close. Look at that time graph, Matt. So, all this stuff you're doing, in terms of progress, is nice. But if you can slow down, well, then we're on a different level, Matt. Let's just go see if this is a pattern. It's a pattern, Matt. Matt, this is a pattern. Oh, that was you. Your opponent thought a little bit. But you got a rating of 20, Matt. 20. Okay. So, Matt, I'm going to spend more time looking at this game than you did playing it. All right. All right, this is a little poor because your queen's placed well there. Good. Poor. Just making random threats. Fine. Thank you. Now, this is fine. Bring out your people. Bring out your people. Ooh, that was a nice trick. Now, let's just talk obvious stuff. Would you have seen this trick if you were thinking? Probably, but you played knight d2 in 6 seconds. And then he's got a nice trick on you. Good try, you're still stuck. Good try, you're still stuck. Wow. So he goes for it. Commentary here was needed. Okay. Amazingly, after hanging his full rook, we're back to a equal-ish position. Now, I don't know about this. This is something to think about. You're inviting the rook into b2. Snippos. I don't know. We should talk about it. Rook b2. It looks like we just hung something. All right, we're hanging all our stuff. Now, Matt, dude, Matt, this is everything to do with not spending your time. Everything. So just think about it for a second, Matt. You're doing all this work, okay? You're doing all this work. And your rating is actually going up. So it means, Matt, that if you can slow down, the gains are limitless. They are limitless, Matt. All right, let's continue. Matt! Matt, buddy! Come on, man! Oh, here we go. Nilos just joined. Might not have any games or anything. Clubs, nothing. Games, all uploads. We got to fix this. We got this one in here, 30 plus 0. Again, we are going to look at this, but at this level, we really do need a 30 plus 30 as a minimum. Time graph, boom. Okay, good from you, not so good from your opponent. Now, we do want more discussion on this whole series of moves here. Things need to be said, like a3. We want to say, poor move, not developing. Fine. Now, bishop f3. Fine. Beautiful. Thank you very much. You're doing fine. Good. Good. Oh, beautiful. Oh, beautiful. All right, critical moment, the bishop's hanging, though. You could play rook takes e3. Good. Poor. Of course he's got to play rook e1. Thank you. Dang, buddy. Well done. And you know, from my perspective, what I really like about that is you were thinking and your opponent wasn't taking the free stuff. Now, let me just stress, at this level, what I often see is players who are playing online, even though they're above 1100, because they are moving so fast, they're hanging their coconut still. So kind of a general rule of thumb I have is, after 1000, they're not hanging the coconuts as often. I don't know. There's definitely some people hanging some coconuts, right? Okay, well done. And we're going to go on here to Rookbird. That's kind of a cool name. And Rookbird has been very busy since joining at the beginning of the year, 1362. Looking good. U.S. evening games. We got loads. This is Rook Bird, and he is playing the correct time control. It's funny. I wonder if there's some site where they're playing 30 plus 20. What a weird time control. All right, let's look at this nice 45-45. Where are the 50 plus grads today? That's right. Here's Rook Bird. Okay, let's take a look at the time graph. Rook Bird did better than his opponent. We're hoping that he is just completely winning at around move 30 something. All right. Fine. Fine. C5. I don't like this move after I played it. This is a typical pawn push for black in other d4 openings, but here with the e-pawn out of the center, this will leave me with an IQP. Okay. Fair. I wonder how bad it actually is, though. Because, you know, you have the two bishops, you want to open the position. Your opponent says, no, I don't want to open it. Good move. Dogmatic. Fine. Dogmatic. Castles. Good. CD4. Now, this one, I don't know. Now your pawn is going to be weak on d4. He helps you out, and you help him out by taking. So I'm concerned just that white's a little better because of this pawn here. Queen b3, bishop b8, I'm not sure. Now rook fc1. A GM level move here, by the way, is this nice one. Bang, bang. That's an old school thing. I guess he could still do it at some point. Now he can win your pawn. Either one, the d5 one or on c8. I like that you're fighting here. Now maybe queen g4. So taking, I don't think is it. Maybe you've got some ideas, but in general, I think here we could be looking to mess with them. Okay, knight c1. Notice you're making cheap threats, but it's hard for you, honestly, to do much else. Okay, now you get to play bishop g3. So now you are in business, at least. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, here we're going to stress it was right around here where both players stopped thinking. Now, very typical that when we get to an endgame, people think it's easy or something. It's not. In fact, it gets more complicated. Why is this kind of complicated? Because even when you win the e-pawn, white has a pass pawn. And it's really now, white should be dreaming about making that pawn happen. Time to think. b4. And now queen e4 after 24 seconds of thought. Now, is this a game-losing mistake? Well, we're going to find out. Boom, boom, boom. Now, you annotate f5. Oh, wow, this is hot. b5. Oh, no. So I want to stress. Let's go back to the time graph. Boom. You were doing fine, mostly, with the time. And then we got to the end game, and then it was just like, oh, no. We moved too fast. Queen e4 was played with 24 seconds on the clock. And now it's truly poor. Now, is it lost? I don't know yet. One thing is we're not done analyzing the game. So you played f5 here with 5 seconds left. Let's look at king f8. King f6 would be similar. Now, this is a very tense endgame, and I'm not sure I have the answers, to be honest. If we get this situation, we're going to play that way, because a, b, a6, and then I don't think we can catch both coconuts. But here we can catch them, And he can't make progress because we can always just solidify our bro. Okay? However, we get in here, king e7, a5, king d6, maybe. a6, maybe. But maybe white's losing now because we go bang. See, it's not easy though. Look, bang, bang, and then he goes bang. Do you see where we're going here? This is not so easy, my friends. This is not so easy. If white can run us out of moves, we will lose. However, I don't think he can. I don't think he can. Whew. So this is the kind of analysis that we want to be doing in the game, which will turn us on to the fact that, oh, can't be moving so fast in these endgames. You had loads of time left here. Loads. And you played f5, boom, in a heartbeat, and then the game's over. Goodbye. Goodbye. It's all the way gone. Right? All right. Something we've talked about on the show before, even higher rated players, such as we're dealing with now, have grief that when they play online, they will often move too fast because it's easy to be distracted online. Okay, looking if I like that Pawn Goblin. I like this a lot, the name anyway. No clubs, no games. He joined about a while back, but so far we don't got anything. He did some work in December. He came back after he did well, and it was like, okay, I'm back. Pawn Goblin, you know what you need. You need to give us Bobby Ace. You need to give us a little bit of love here. Just tell us what you're doing. All right, we got 2 left. I'm going to take a quick pause, and I'll be right back.
Welcome to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine that ain't hacking. He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvork, but he can't be wrong, he scored a like from Truong. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes, true not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got...
All right, we have a good question from Arsenal fan. Arsenal fan, how do you guys work out the ratings on your site? Are they based on games between members? No. We have Nose Knows All, who's sometimes in the chat, and he did this amazing rating conversion studying muchos statistics. So we got the dojo cohort there on the left. Actually, it's not framed quite well, but we have, let's see. I guess I'll move it over a little bit. I don't want to move anything. All right, I don't want to move anything. Once I move it, it'll get all messed up. Get all messed up. Hold on here. Let's do it a different window. So I'll just make it a little smaller here and then bigger. This is an amazing thing that we've created. We had to create something that encompassed all of the different rating systems. So, we did a lot of work. And then you have, FIDE, USCF, English, Canadian, German, all these different rating systems, of course, and ChessCom and Lichess. Yeah. So there it is. We have to update it about every 2 years or so. It gets a little bit out of whack after a while. Okay, so let's go back. Grad show. And this is our recent graduates. We got 2 more. Min is kind of famous over here. Min says, I got my official FIDE rating recently for classical. It's 1694. Thanks to the program that I have 38 classical games played and logged since last July. I think I had around 23 or 24 games before I played in the 8-round tournament that gave me my FIDE rating. 23 very valuable lessons that helped me get the rating. Cheers to the senseis. Thank you, man. So, based in Vietnam, beautiful. Now, you know what I'm going to ask him. I think I already asked him once. Maybe he's done it. Maybe he created the club. Let's go see. Oh, man. Give me that Vietnam chess club, bud. Okay. So, ADHD. All right, so here we go. We got all this stuff going on. And Min has got loads of games. Now here, this is, the Jack's new thing is a mess. No. So, he did, so these are all the uploads. It seemed like there was one that was more recent than this. Okay. So, like, yeah, he's playing over here and stuff. Played this tournament, had the ratings. He's doing great with the ratings. At some point, men, you could consider switching to the FIDE rating. Okay. So, let's go look at Slugman. This is a Swiss, and then we're going to look at the time graph. And you did significantly better than your opponent. We're going to guess they just hung a bunch of stuff. All right, here we go. So far, so good. Okay. Okay. Fancy. Oh, my Lord. Are we being too fancy? I kind of feel we are. But okay. And now, bang. Holy moly. All right. So. Now, knight a4 is played, after which you are going to have, you're going to be winning. But I guess the real question, right, was what about pawn takes, bishop takes, bishop d2, and he's doing fine, right? He's doing fine. I guess I would rather be white. So, well, we wanted a note on that. Check to the miserable king. Thank you. Queen d2 seems simpler to me, but okay, now we're winning. They're just hanging all their stuff. Oh, hanging all their stuff. Why did they hang all their stuff? Because they weren't thinking. What happened in this position? White thought for 15 seconds. 15 seconds! Okay. So, let's just get this. This is a kind of, I don't know if I want to call it a famous position. There are positions where the bishop is not yet on g2, where this knight e5 thing is a deal. Now, let's say something obvious. The guy should be playing castles, because e3 is not a developing move. That said, I don't think this is correctamundo with knight c4. Okay, so very happy to hear about your tournament, and very happy to see, you know, these people are your customers when you're playing online. You know, they're not going to think, they're going to get whacked. They're going to get whacked. Okay, so bang. One more, Bold Nirvana. Maybe Bold Nirvana just joined. Let's go see what's going on with Bold. Yep, just joined. We're going to give him a follow. Really pumped when we have some strong players coming in here. Got a very high Puzzle Rush score, and a slightly lower FIDE rating, but you know, that can happen. Clubs. Central Florida. Okay. Nice. I, Brian, am in the Villages. Okay, nice. Orlando. I gotta have a city in mind. Like Central Florida, Orlando. I've never been to Orlando. Bang. All uploads? Nothing. Bold Nirvana, welcome to the program. We'd love to have you submit a game. Thank you for joining us. And let me just say, I said at the beginning of the show, normally I do the under 1,000 grads on Wednesday, over 1,000 on Thursday. Tomorrow is Juneteenth. My kids, therefore, do not have camp, so I knew that I would not have the time to be doing it tomorrow. So I just powered through here. My eyes hurt, but we're going to raid somebody, and we're going to get out of here. So, who are we going to raid? Oh, there's so many people. There's so many people to raid. Emily plays chess. Let's give Emily a try. Emily plays chess. Bang. Thank you very much, you guys. All kinds of stuff is going on at the dojo. All kinds of beautiful things. Me doing this program, I see little things like the files thing got weird, but Jack does have some ideas. It just doesn't